Hey guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. Happy New Year! My name is Victoria Agahiu. If you are a returning subscriber, you know you have a special place in my heart. And if you are new here, please do not make it your last. Kindly hit the subscribe button, put on your notification bell so that you'll be the first to see my video whenever I drop one. Because this year we are going back to back with loads of helpful tips, content on personal development, faith, lifestyle, tech, fashion, everything you can think of basically. Please ignore my voice. I am a bit under the weather. So today I want to share on how I've been able to ace and smash my goals for every new year. I know that it's not until we get to a new year that we are supposed to maybe set goals, but because of the buzz and the hype and the vibes of a new year, everybody is in such high spirits, and I feel like it is a good time to draw back and set your goals, right? Yeah, so before now, I used to be one to do New Year resolution, New Year, new me, which is not bad. But I figured that it wasn't really working for me because I'll say, oh, okay, this new year, my resolution is to be better, to be more prayerful, to be this, to be that. And by the time I'm in February or March, if you even ask me what my New Year resolution is and how I've been working towards working in that light, I might not even remember some of them. So I took a different approach from like 2020 or 2021, and I started to really be intentional about setting SMART goals. Now, what is SMART goals? It's just an acronym. The S is for specific, the M is for measurable, the A is for achievable, the R is for realistic, and the T is time bound. Now, I'll pause to say this: if you watched my previous video about packing for Shiloh, which is up here, I talked about how I'll be vlogging my Shiloh experience, which is supposed to be the next video after that video. But I had an ugly armed robbery incident on the 22nd of December, and they went away with all my belongings, my work laptop, devices, wristwatch, even my wigs. Guys, they took it. So I'm just trying to recover and see the brighter side of life and just put up an attitude of gratitude. So this new year, we are just starting afresh, basically. Many of the content that I had recorded and had not published, all gone. It's so painful, but once there is life, there is hope. And now when they are alive, they shoot content, right? And there is more from where all those came from. So we are grateful. So going back to SMART goals, I've been able to really sit back and become more intentional about how I set my goals for anything basically. But I'm just here to talk about how this has been helpful for me in every new year. For someone like me who is more of a pen and paper person, I write them out. But if you are not like me and you like things, I could share you templates that you can use to set your goals for this new year. You could just check in the description box where I have many of my handles and social media handles where you can just connect with me, send me a DM, and I'll just forward the templates for you. So how do I go about setting my goals, strategies for each new year? This one, I wrote them out on the 31st of December 2022 against 2023. So it's not too late for you right now to start writing out yours for the new year 2024. The first thing here is business goals. So I have different goals really. I try to I don't just write goals as per all goals. I still try to break them down. Business goals, spiritual goals, career goals, relationship goals, health goals, and even fun goals really. Everything that concerns my life, I just break it down and form a goal for them. Now, how do I go about it? For instance, here I have number one business goals for Q1: run ads for Vax perfumes. And if you are watching for the first time, I run a business, I own a brand, it's called Vax Perfumes. If you want to smell nice on a budget, hit me up and I'll get you smelling delicious. Okay, so running ads for Vax Perfumes was top of my goals for Q1, and Q1 is January to March. And to run ads for Vax perfume, I knew that my ad account was not functional at the time. So I needed to write out the how to go about running ads for Vax perfumes. I needed to reach out to an ad expert, paid some money, and they did all of that for me. I got my ads account fixed. I'm saying all this to say that it's not enough to just write out your goals. You need to write out the hows, the where if it requires a place, the when, which is why setting a smart goal is also time bound, and all of those things that just helps in achieving that goal basically. So running ads for Vax perfumes. The next thing is I'm not going to read out all my goals for you, but the next thing is having Valentine's sales in February. So I didn't start thinking of Valentine's sales or Valentine's package for my business in February. I started to think of it from the December of the previous year, because these things just helps to guide you. It helps to put you on track for the next thing you are about to achieve. So, to do a Valentine's package, I started to think of the kind of perfumes, or if I needed to do any collaboration with any other brand, so that we can bring products together and market for people who would want to buy stuff for their friends, their lovers, their spouses, and all of that, because that's what Valentine is for. So you would also write out the hows of how to do this, right? So the third thing, which is where I'll stop for my business goal, is birthday sales in March. Because I am a March baby, I wanted to run a birthday sales in March, right? So it fell under my business goals for Q1. I hope you are following, right? So for birthday sales, I also had to write out what I needed. I had thought about giving free gifts to anyone who places an order. What kind of gifts? I wrote everything down. So that is how to break your goals, all your goals really for Q1, that's January to February, and you're not just ending it in Q1 really. I took it even to my spiritual goals. I did that for Q1, went about with the hows, the what, the when. Everything just requires intentionality and you trying to foresee into how you want your future to really be. That dream that you are dreaming, how are you able to now, achieve it using what you have around you? So that's just how it is basically. So another thing you can do is to make it fun, which is something I want to try to do this year. I want to be accountable. So my friend had reached out to me and she said when we set out our goals, we should sort of share it so that as we are acing it, when you bring fun into something serious, it just sort of spices things up for you. But when you want to do this, ensure that you are being accountable to someone you can trust. For instance, now if you had a financial goal of let's say saving 20 million, for instance, so the friend might be like, oh, so this my friend is even rich enough to even have a goal of saving 20 million. And they might start looking at you somehow. So I'm just saying all this humorously to say that if you want to be accountable with these kinds of things, please make sure that who you are accountable to and who you are sharing this part of you with is a serious person like you, is a like-minded person, and you guys sort of share the same value. So for financial goals, for instance, if your goal is to maybe save 1 million for Q1 or for Q2 or for Q3, or to save 1 million before Q3, whatever it is, well, however you are breaking it down, you can't just write that and that's it. You now have to start thinking about, if I'm going to save 1 million naira in Q1, it then means that you are going to look at your sources of income. If you have one source of income, you might want to think, would this source of income enable me to save this money within this specific time? Because if you are not doing all of this, it will just be mere wishful thinking. That is why it is required that you really sit down and be deliberate and intentional about how you go about this thing. So if your goal for finances is to save that much for Q1, for instance, you now have to think of how to go about it. If you need to double your hustle, get more sources of income, take freelancing jobs, work overtime, things like that are going to be in your how. You get. So that's just how to go about it. And this really is very helpful. The beautiful thing is, by the time you are able to really achieve this goal, you will be propelled to, you know, make it a lifestyle. But if you are just starting out and you probably are not sure of maybe what your Q2 or Q3 would be like, you could just start with the low hanging fruit. Everyone is able to easily envisage what Q1 would be. That's just January till March, right? So you could start from Q1, write out what you want to do for your finances from January to March, write out what you want to do in your spiritual life, write out whatever, however it suits you, write it out. And by the end of March, if you are able to smash these goals, you will be more motivated to sit down and write more things for Q2. And because we are humans and life can happen, some of these things we may not really go about it the right way, or some unforeseen contingencies will come in the way and mess our plans and all of that. So sometimes you see that you are not finishing all the goals, you are not achieving all the goals that you have written. But what it helps you do is, for instance, there are some goals here that I have ticked, but there were others that some things came in the way that I could not achieve. These are now the things to move into the new year as your first goals, right? So it really helps you. It really helps structure your life. And with God's help, you will see that you are making progress. Your life is well put together and everything is just going well for you. So like I said, if you want the template, just send me a DM in any of my socials and I would happily, send any of the templates to you. Guys, if you have watched to this point and you have not subscribed, I do not know what you are waiting for. Kindly give us that subscription that we need. Give us a thumbs up also. It really does helps us with visibility. It really does helps us. Then share the video, comment, just do anything you can really to support this thing I'm doing. This year, I'm going to be putting out content on personal development, on tech. A lot of people come to my DM to ask me what's the best way to transition into tech, how did you do it? All of those things. I had a master class earlier, and these were the kinds of things I was able to teach. But I believe that more people need this, so I'm going to be putting out helpful tips that have worked for me. Really, there's a lot from where all of the things that I have done before came from. So I know that I'm just going to have to be more consistent so that I can put out more value out here, as it's something that I enjoy doing. So, guys, if you've been able to set your goals before and it has helped you, and it's maybe a different format from these, do let me know in the comments. Share with us ways that you have been able to set your own goals and you've been able to achieve and smash all of it. Someone would be reading in the comment and you might also be touching lives with that. So that's basically, how I have been able to do it. Remember that I said that it is not wrong to have New Year resolution, but I just feel like New Year resolution is what we just say casually. If you look at it as goals, right? As something that you are really intentional and deliberate about achieving, I think it would, help us better to be more focused about doing things to achieve the goal. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you for coming to this point with me. Again, I will say do not forget to like, do not forget to subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so that you'll be the first to see my video whenever I drop it. I'll come your way again next time, and until then, bye.